the American Greyhound Scenicruiser, the British Bedford VAL. If there was a union of these two vehicles, what kind of awesome bus would then be created? The answer may have emerged in Mexico with an impressive deck-and-a-half twin steer. It was later updated to become one of the most awesome-looking buses that can ever be imagined. This is the story of the Sultana TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico buses. A true Mexican super bus. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now just imagine for a moment what would happen if you mated a Greyhound Scenicruiser with a British Bedford VAL. The answer to that question seems to have existed in Mexico. In the early 1960s, a Mexican bus manufacturer, Trailer de Monterrey, introduced their new Sultana TM40 series buses. These intercity coaches became very, very popular, and in the early 1970s, their design was updated, and they became world famous. It's a really fascinating story, so let's get started in learning about the Sultana TM40 and 44 series Super Panoramico buses. Twin steers, or buses with steerable front tandem axles. These vehicles, which allow for heavier loads in weight-restricted jurisdictions, were once somewhat common, especially in the United Kingdom, where magnificent coaches such as the Bedford VAL and Leyland GNU were often exciting sights to see. Even Japan had the Mitsubishi MR430. But increasing weight limits, more intense maintenance, and lighter construction technologies have made this configuration mostly irrelevant. But, interestingly enough, there would also be a very impressive twin-steer, 4-axle, long-distance bus that would roam the roads of North America. Not in the USA, but in Mexico, where they were designed and built. Sultana coaches were built by a Mexican transportation conglomerate, Trailers de Monterrey, established in 1952, that built trailers, trucks, and buses. It is now known as Grupo Industrial Ramirez. The company's founder, Gregorio Ramirez Gonzalez, who was born in 1913, settled in Monterrey, where he started working for a car dealership. He began an automotive workshop in 1946, and his company grew into the largest automotive manufacturer in Mexico. Developing partnerships with American, German, and Japanese auto companies, they developed popular trucks such as the R19, R20, and R22. And of course, they built buses. Examples among a wide range produced would be the Scenicruiser lookalike, the TM4115P of the mid to late 1950s, and the 1959 TM37-7D that would somewhat resemble a GM PD 4103. At the start of the new decade, and drawing upon inspiration from the legendary buses of their giant northern neighbor, such as the GM PD 4501 and the flexible VL 100 Vistaliner, Trailer de Monterrey's chief engineer Humberto Rosalidi Gonzalez went to work on developing an extraordinary new bus. And so, what would this new bus be? It is the Sultana TM40 16 SP. The first version of the TM40 series rolled off the assembly line in 1963, and it was powered mostly by GM engines shipped from the US. Like its US counterparts, it was air-conditioned and had a restroom. Some TM40s also had small galleys that could prepare buffet meals for long trips. The TM40 16 SP name can be interpreted as Trailer de Monterrey, 40 passengers, Model 16, Super Panoramico. The TM4016 would be updated and modernized in 1969 to the very well-known TM4017 and the larger TM44 18 series. However, the TM4017 would have only 3 axles. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico buses. Number 1, length is 39 feet 4 inches for the 17 series and 42 feet 4 inches for the 16 and 18 series. Number 2, width is about 101 inches. Number 3, the top height of the upper deck is 12 feet. Number 4, weight is at least 22,220 pounds. Number 5, passenger capacity is 40 for the 16 and 17 series and 44 for the 18 series. Number 6, engine would usually be the GM8B71, and the 16 series had a fuller Road Ranger 10-speed manual transmission. And finally, number 7, top speed was reportedly up to 90 miles per hour, especially for the 17 and 18 series. The TM40 was routinely used on the Mexico City to Acapulco route in the 60s and 70s, a run that took about 10 hours and was a very popular bus. According to Miguel Beltran, a product manager at Trailer de Monterrey during that time, explains how revered the TM40 and 44 series of buses was.
The Sultana TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico series, also known as Patón or Bigfoot, was the first 4-axle coach designed and produced in Mexico by Trailers de Monterrey. It was fitted with air ride suspension, deluxe seats, and sometimes a kitchenette employing a beautiful stewardess. This model was very popular among carriers with long routes and first-class service. It's said that the 4 axles were the result of the bus being overbuilt to withstand the poor Mexican road conditions at the time, making the bus quite robust but heavy for its dimensions.
It's not exactly known how many Sultana TM40 and 44s were built when production ended in the late 1970s. Its manufacturer discontinued their line of buses in 1981, mainly due to competition from Diesel Nacional, otherwise known as DINA. And in 2002, Grupo Industrial Ramirez disappeared along with the death of its founder. But despite all of this, one thing is certain. The Sultana TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico series is truly one of the most impressive looking buses ever built. And so there it is, the story of the Sultana TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico buses. What a fabulous bus that was. Now, if you have any further information on these buses, please let us know, because information on these vehicles is kind of difficult to obtain. Or if you have ever ridden on one, that would be great to hear. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Sultana TM40 and 44 Super Panoramico buses. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.